We have a major update on the Zion situation in New Orleans. I spoke to an NBA insider directly, and he told me personally that the New York Knicks actually checked in on the Zion Williamson situation in New Orleans this offseason. We're going to break down that entire report, and we're also going to take a look at Zion Williamson himself, because if you take a look at him today, he looks absolutely jacked. We're going to break down all of this and so much more today on the Knicks Digest. So as probably most of you know already, I run another YouTube channel called the Knicks Recap, but I also do videos for the Knicks Digest as well too, because I like to support this channel and what it has going on as well. And during my Knicks Recap podcast, I had an NBA insider called Mark Berman on. He covered the New York Knicks for 23 seasons. And during my interview, he dropped a little gem for me about Zion and what the New York Knicks were looking into for him. Let's look into that right now. So as you can see here, during the interview that I had with Mark Berman, he said the following about Zion Williamson and the New York Knicks, obviously. New Orleans is still not sold on Zion Williamson. Obviously, there's a risk there. All eyes on him this season. I was told the Knicks checked in over the offseason about Zion. That could be a possibility. Major news and major gem here from Mark Berman. If you didn't catch the full interview that I did with him, please go ahead and do so now. He dropped a lot of great gems. Not only that, but let's talk about this one specifically. We all know the New York Knicks have been trying to go after that star, that superstar. They've been linked to a number of names. Zion's not the only one. Joel Embiid, Paul George, Donovan Mitchell, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, Zach LaVine. I could go on and on and on. And headed into this offseason, the New York Knicks were set to get one of those stars. At least that was the buildup. Everybody thought that the Knicks were going to make that move for a star. But that's not what Leon did. Leon actually stayed patient and pat, signed Dante DiVincenzo, added Josh Hart for another 4-year, $81 million, and really traded away Obi Toppin for 2 future second-round picks. That's it. That's the New York Knicks offseason. And a bunch of two-way players as well, too. And then, obviously, on Media Day, everybody talking about, building off of chemistry and building off of that coming into this season. Continuity, I think, is what the word was. They kept using that word. Tom Thibodeau, obviously the media, everybody, because that's the New York Knicks' goal, to build off of that and to thrive and find success off of that. That's good and that's great. But Mark Berman told me directly, Tom Thibodeau, the coaching staff, everybody, they want an upgrade. They want a better player. Sure, they love continuity. They love to build on what they have. But honestly, what other direction do they have to go to? That's what they have to say, and that's what they have to do because they didn't really upgrade the roster. So you have to say things like that if you're the New York Knicks. But that doesn't mean that they don't want an upgrade of talent. I'm sure not only Leon, but Tom Thibodeau would absolutely love for the New York Knicks to get a star or superstar player to play alongside Jalen Brunson, maybe with Julius Randle if you can keep that guy along in any type of trade for another star or superstar. It's hard to imagine that Randle or RJ Barrett would be part of this team in any type of superstar deal. But, you never know what happens. Stranger things have definitely happened before. We'll see how it all shakes out. But Zion to the Knicks is always going to be a possibility because RJ Barrett is on the New York Knicks. That link and that connection is always going to be there. Zion Williamson was supposed to be a Knick, and I think that if he didn't go number 1 and it was still on the board at 3, the Knicks would have picked him. Because the Knicks wanted Zion. It was no secret. It was no secret that when Zion talks about MSG and the Knicks, he gets giddy. He smiles. He laughs. He gets happy. Why wouldn't he? He has a right to be happy. Guys, he loves MSG for what the crowd does for him, how he plays in MSG. He loves the environment. He's not the only superstar to ever say that. And, calling him a superstar might be a stretch. Generational talent, if you will, then. Everybody says he has the means and the ability to become that superstar for the New York Knicks and for any team he goes to. Let's see it first, though. Let's not give him the title. Let's see where it goes and if he can get there. But the reason I used it is because everybody that I talk to says because of the talent that he has, if he can stay healthy, he can be a superstar level player. Only time will tell with Zion. I can't wait to see what he does this season. And speaking of that, has anybody seen Zion Williamson lately? Because I don't know if you have, but he's jacked. Monstrous. Do you see? Do you see? He's jacked. This guy looks monstrous. Beast. Imagine what he can do at like a Shaq type of level, weight, and size. It's scary. What I just looked at, I'm a loss for words, guys. He's jacked. Looks in the best shape of his entire career. Probably the best shape he's been in since New Orleans in any capacity that I've ever seen him. Even when he started. A lot of people said when he started, he looked really stocky and jacked. He never looked like that. He looks healthy stocky. Not like really thick stocky, healthy stocky. If you know what I'm talking about. It looks like the muscle that he's put on and gained has been put on because of the hard work in the gym. And not because he's just built differently and just a mammoth of a man. It's a different type of build. He looks like he can do some damage this season. Again, when healthy. And I'm going to keep saying that because the when healthy thing is important to talk about. He has not been healthy in basically every single year he's played. If you want to trade for a player like that, that's okay. But that means the value has to come down. The problem is Zion has that freaking generational tag always attached to his name. And because of that, you are never going to see his value drop. At least not to a level that Leon Rose would be comfortable doing business. And that makes sense. Leon Rose is a little bit of a cheapskate, right? He doesn't like to give up a lot of assets to get the player. He wants to get them on a steal, or he just wants to get them outright in free agency. He does not want to pay high for a player, even if it's a player that he wants. Everybody tries to argue Joel Embiid and all these other things. I don't think he would even give up the whole house for Joel Embiid. And that's a player he has connections with and ties with. I think it's because he wants to build the Knicks in his mind the right way. And the right way is not to get fleeced and gutted. And you might do that if you deal with Daryl Morey. So you may be able to understand where Leon Rose is coming from if you don't want him to make these massive trade and moves. Because at the end of the day, he also doesn't want to take that risk, make that big move, and have it fail and have no assets to build with again. Because that could be a failure as well too. Again, being too patient is a failure, but not making a move is a failure as well too. It's unfortunate. He's in a tough place, but you know what? You don't sign up for the head of basketball operations and president of the New York Knicks if it's going to be an easy job. It's a hard job, and it demands a lot of you, and it comes with a lot of pressure, and you have to meet those expectations and meet the pressure at times. We've been waiting years at this point in time, and we've been sold the same story. The Knicks still don't have a star, but we're still hearing the same thing. We have all the assets, all the young players, this, that, and etc. You know what? Those young players are getting older. They're going to get signed to very lucrative contracts. And when they do, what happens to their value? I know this is a Zion video, but I'm trying to say this is related to Zion. When we're looking at stars and we're looking for trading for them, it's all going to go back to Leon Rose. And if he's scared to do it or ready to make the move. And as of right now, he hasn't really done any deal. And I can't see him doing a deal unless it's absolutely right and perfect for the Knicks. And what deal is ever going to be that way? I don't think any. But going back to Zion, he's jacked right now. Obviously, he has to play because that's the biggest thing. It doesn't matter how good you look or all the flashes of potential you have. If you can't stay healthy enough on the court to show it, it doesn't matter. That's going to be the biggest factor for Zion headed into this season. If he can beat the health odds, not only is he going to be one of the biggest factors for New Orleans, he could take them to the playoffs on his back. And I absolutely believe that because he has the talent to do so. That's going to do it for this video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this exclusive drop and gem that I got from NBA insider and former beat writer for the New York Knicks, who covered the team for 23 years, in Mark Berman. Leave a comment below. Let me know how you feel. Definitely smash that like button. My name is Troy. This is the Knicks Digest. And of course, guys, I am now out of here. I'll see you next time. Peace.